When I was doing my video for what I will watch for anime of winter 2020, I looked at Hanako Kun and I was like, I'm probably gonna skip this. But after many insisting that I give it a shot and telling me that I didn't truly understand what the synopsis was, I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, let's see how it is. And after seeing kind of like a brief preview before the episode came out, I was like, okay, this kind of looks really good. So I sat down and watched the first episode of Toilet Bound Hanako Kun. And to my surprise, it was fantastic. I definitely say in terms of charm and pizzazz, it's definitely up there with Hanako Kun from this anime season, from everything I've seen thus far. So, to get right into it, this is by the same studio that brought us Assassination Classroom. So if you have ever watched Assassination Classroom, then you most likely know that the studio that is behind it are really good at having some very different art styles that you would normally not see from other anime. Like, normally you have a traditional style. The style of this series, or at least by some of the, the anime that the studio works on, is very different. And Toilet Bound Hanako Kun is honestly so stylish that, like I said, it is up there with Hanako Kun in terms of being very unique artistically from this anime season. Now, what is it about? Is Toilet Bound Hanako Kun good? Is it something worth your time? So, obviously, by the title, it kind of seems like there's some weird perverted nature going on with it. Even though it kind of feels like that, there really isn't, honestly, from the first episode, which is honestly something I appreciate a little bit. So, basically, the story, or the premise is that our main female character wants a wish fulfilled. It's some basic stuff you would see from a story. So, she decides to go to one of her school's 7 wonders, which was the 7th wonder. It's where this ghost, Hanako Kun, is inside of a bathroom stall, and you basically relay your wish or whatever, and then your wish will come true, but you have to give up a price. This is a typical thing you would see kind of in a ghost story, etc., so it's nothing relatively brand new. However, she goes there, and upon asking for her wish to be granted, she meets a ghost, and obviously it's Hanako Kun that is bound to, I'm assuming, this stall, this toilet stall, or just bound to the school in general, and because of that, that's why the title is like it is. But come to find out that Hanako Kun is actually not a girl, but actually a guy. So, it's a big, like, whoa, wait, what? Everybody says that Hanako Kun is, a girl, but dude, and then in the woman's bathroom stall, you're like, there's something weird going on there. But regardless of that, though, it's relatively tame in terms of that type of content, ecchi content, etc. It really doesn't get into that. It's really more of a light-hearted and charming first episode that's about a girl kind of understanding herself and admitting her flaws, and then also making a contract with a spirit. So, pretty much, to get right into it, if you are wanting something kind of charming and fun, etc., then you're probably going to like this. This is definitely something I think that many are going to enjoy. There might be a really serious plot down the road, though, because this episode did hint at some things, which I'll get into in just a second. But for now, though, the first episode was more of just introducing the two characters, kind of their bond, and what we can expect from the story going forward. So, anyways, let's talk about Hanako Kun. So, Hanako Kun is an individual that is a spirit that, I'm assuming by the title, is bound to the toilet stall, or just bound to the school, and because of that is probably some unfortunate death. Now, that's normally what I would assume, because usually when you have, let's say, a spirit in a school or whatever place in a story, it's because they had an untimely end. That means they had, like, let's say, lingering regrets, they weren't able to accomplish what they wanted, etc., and so they became bound to this place after death. So, I'm assuming that whatever is going to happen, it's probably Hanako Kun probably letting go and moving past regrets to be able to move on to the afterlife, move on to wherever type of realm that Hanako Kun actually deserves to go to. But the point, though, is that at the end, you see a line of hope for Hanako. You have it to where Hanako is able to actually interact with our main female character thanks to the contract. And this is something that's probably amazing for the individual, because Hanako has probably not really had physical contact contact and been able to have a real proper human conversation with someone in a very long time. And probably being able to make physical contact with someone is probably relieving loneliness. I could definitely see Hanako being a very lonely individual, and when you just look at the charm of Hanako's character throughout the first episode, there's definitely a tinge of loneliness there, that Hanako has been craving some form of interaction with someone, being able to just be with someone or do something. That's the impression I get from the interactions in this episode. But it's not just that, too. We also do know that Hanako is a spirit, so others can't necessarily see him. So even if, theoretically, the main female character can now basically feel him and, put her hands on whatever, he still can't probably be seen by real life people. People are still alive besides her, the one that made the contract with him. So as she starts to talk to him, it looks like she's kind of crazy. So I could definitely see it putting her in a very lonely position as well, because she no longer is, kind of like in a situation that's normal. Her life is very different, weird, and not the same as any other person. It could definitely make her life interesting, but I could definitely see her having also loneliness too, and being isolated from others because of the situation she now has with Hanako. So, anyways, moving forward though, let's talk about, our main female character and her problem in realizing what she did wrong throughout this episode. So obviously, the main wish she wanted granted was to have some boy love her, have a shot at being with someone. It's a typical wish. It's something so common in stories, it's nothing relatively new. However, she wants this, and she comes to figure out that it could be anyone, honestly. It could be absolutely anyone that Hanako helps, our main female character get with. It's just long as if it makes the original dude that dumped her or just said she has daikon legs, very upset. She wanted to make the dude very jealous, so she didn't care who she relatively was with. It was just a means to an end to get with the most popular individual, because she didn't really even love him or care about him. She just wanted to be with him just to make others jealous. So she has kind of this messed up personality. Underneath, she has a little bit of a rotten nature to her that, honestly, I was really surprised about. I mean, I do think she means well in the end. I don't think she's like an evil person, but she does have a rotten side to her that does show that she wasn't necessarily thinking about someone else's feelings. She was being very selfish and all that. Even though it definitely hurts that she was probably called a daikon legs and all that, I just do think that she kind of deserved it after everything we saw from her within this episode, what she was trying to do. She didn't really try to learn the person, get to know him, and he didn't even know her, so because that led to that situation, she just goes in these really back alley type deals and stuff, basically to go talk to a ghost or fulfill a wish. When you really think about her situation, she's not really confronting things in a very mature fashion. She's doing things that are very roundabout, and most of the time you won't get an answer, and obviously, it'll show your kind of selfish personality of what you want to do to some other people. So I think that this is a good first episode to really showcase both characters. Also, we got the whole introduction of, other entities besides Hanako, like, for instance, the mermaid spirit we saw throughout this episode, which it was stated that will probably reappear once again, so it's probably not the last time we see, Hanako and our main female character in trouble thanks to it, so there's probably going to be some action too going forward within the series. But, yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a beautiful first episode. Art style is so charming and different. Like I said, it's up there with Ken. The only thing that's necessarily lacking with this series is the animation. And what I mean by that is that it's just not fluid. There is definitely some animation throughout this first episode that isn't necessarily good. However, the art is so good, in fact, that it kind of makes you look away from the animation. You're not really able to notice the animation that much just because of how different the art style is. Honestly, if it had a traditional art style, now I don't think this first episode would be popular for many that watched it, because the animation is kind of lacking in some areas. But overall, thanks to the art, it really does carry it, and I think that's kind of why this series probably can go very far from this anime season. So one last thing before I kind of wrap up this video, I just want to thank everyone out there that told me to watch Hanako, or Toilet Bound Hanako Kun, because I was honestly going to skip over it. I wasn't going to actually give this series a watch, because, when I read the synopsis, I was under the impression that it was a trap series, and there's nothing wrong with trap series, don't get me wrong. I do like my fair share of some trap series. They can be funny. It's just, I wasn't really in the mood for that after everything else I saw from the season, but after being corrected and told that I misunderstood and Hanako is a dude and not just a girl dressing up as, like, you know, a guy dressing up as a girl or whatever, I was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting. So I was just like, let me give this a shot, and thanks to you all kind of correcting me for my, you know, misunderstanding of the series, I decided to actually watch the first episode. So I owe it all to you to really give me something that's truly charming and enjoyable from this anime season. It's something that's kind of up there with Eizo Kin already from Winter of Anime 2020. But I want to leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.